Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Cancel for Maintenance. If this is your first time joining us, we're a show that takes a behind-the-scenes look into the gritty, non-glamorous life of aircraft maintenance. We share some laughs, impart some wisdom, all in hopes of giving you that split seconds relief in your day that can hopefully prevent a mishap. I am your co-host, Six, and I am once again soloing today as MVP and Charlotte are extremely busy handling all sorts of fires that require their undivided attention. So today, we want to focus on a topic that's essential for not just aircraft mechanics, but for anyone navigating tricky decisions at work. And that's ethical leadership and how it shapes our workplace culture. Think of it as trying to fix a plane while it's in mid-flight. So why is ethical leadership a big deal in aircraft maintenance? Well, as mechanics, we play a crucial role in ensuring the safety of our passengers, our flight crews, each other, and the reliability of the aircraft we service. Let's face it, sometimes we feel like we're juggling flaming torches while blindfolded. The aviation industry can be a wild ride, and unethical behavior often lurks around the corner. So let's break this down a little bit. Unethical pro-organizational behavior. I was a little tongue-tied saying that my dang self. Anyways, unethical pro-organizational behavior is when employees take questionable actions that they believe will benefit the organization. But in truth, they're about as ethical as a cat knocking over a vase, saying it wasn't them. These behaviors often come disguised as good intentions. I'm sure just saying that, some people's wheels are starting to turn already. Hopefully yours is starting to turn. Like ask yourself, has anyone in your area ever done something where you know it's wrong, but they justify it as, well, this is for the good of everything else, right? This is for the good of the company. This is for the good of our team, and so on and so forth. Whatever excuse or justification they can throw out to justify this wrong behavior. Let me try to hopefully give you an example that will spark your mind. So you're in a hangar, your supervisor tells you to overlook some minor maintenance issue because the flight schedule is tight. Ignoring it feels like ignoring a check engine light in your car. It may be a little bit more significant than that. But you think you're helping the company by doing what they said, but in reality, you're playing a risky game here, and it's akin to like playing safety Russian roulette, right? You might get the empty barrel, or you might get the bullet. Roll the dice on that one. So doing the right thing seems straightforward, right? But doing the right thing is not as clear cut, especially when pressure mounts. There's many of us who have this hindsight bias where we feel like, oh, I'll do the right thing all the time, every time, until pressure happens. In those moments, we face a lot of moral dilemmas that challenge our convictions. Like choosing a donut between a salad. Which one feels good in the moment? One is obviously the more responsible choice. Me personally, I'm a fat kid, so I most likely pick the donut. Did I make that analogy? Right? But it's a lot harder than it seems. And it's not as clear cut as it seems in many occasions. Upholding ethical standards, even when everyone is pushing for deadlines, is pushing for the answer that they want, is crucial for safety and well-being of everybody involved. So what leads to these lapses? What leads into these ethical challenges? A significant factor in this, and there's many papers and studies and journals and whatever about this, it's the absence of ethical leadership. When leaders engage in unethical behavior, it sets a precedent that can lead into even the most principled person on the line, the most straightforward Captain America of a freaking mechanic, to question their morals. The pressure to conform can be extremely overwhelming, And what starts as an exception can quickly become the norm. And we all see where this goes. When the exceptions become the norm, everything goes crazy. It's like that one coworker who brings donuts every Friday, turning it into a workplace tradition. It's me. I brought the donuts. Okay, like I like everybody to be happy, right? When someone first called donuts happiness pills, it stuck, and just everyone's happy around donuts and coffee. We're all happy. So I try to do that stuff to at least make everyone's Friday just that much better. Maybe Mondays too, but Mondays is kind of rough. So, but let's also consider some of the psychological aspects of this, right? Behavioral ethics shows us that people often justify unethical actions by claiming they're acting for the greater good. It's like telling yourself you only took the cookie because it would make everyone happier. Now I'm going from donuts to cookies. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm thinking about food right now. It's the best way I can really think about it. The shiny thing, the shiny good cookie or the shiny good donut. But going back to this, understanding these psychological quirks is essential in addressing unethical behavior. Cognitive dissonance occurs when our actions don't align with our values. This leads us to rationalizing our questionable choices, like convincing ourselves that doing the wrong thing is a good thing. Binge watching a whole season when you know you got to be at work at 5 o'clock in the morning and it's now 3:30 and you're doing it because research is obviously a bad thing, but you fall into it because it's so easy to do. And you justify it because it's well worth the suffering. And being aware of these mental gymnastics is vital because they can lead us astray without us even realizing it. In the fast-paced world of aviation maintenance, for instance, where deadlines are large, where deadlines is king, schedule is king, getting planes in the air to make money is king. The temptation to cut corners can be a very easy way out of the problem. However, by recognizing these psychological influences, we can resist the urge to take shortcuts that compromise safety. Again, we can all argue and talk to ourselves like safety is everything. Safety is king. Safety is number one. But I can promise you, there are moments where people feel like, well, what constitutes as safe? Right? We've all seen that one or that few where they try to redefine the word safety to make ends meet. Let's take a look at another example. So picture a mechanic who skips an essential safety check to save time, or someone who decides to enhance, air quotes, enhance maintenance records with a little touch of creativity. These actions not only jeopardize safety, but can lead to consequences that could rival a disaster film. Again, like we can argue this, like no one's actually going to do that. But I promise you, people have done it. And I've caught people doing this because it's faster. It's what it helps make the demand. Or if you want me to do it the right way, you need to pay me more and you need to wait extra amount of time. Right? It can either be down for 6 months and it's going to cost you $400,000, or it can be fixed in 30 minutes and it costs you about $12. However that joke went. Now, for some good news, there are some proactive steps that we can all take at the grassroots level to combat these unethical behaviors. And it starts with us, the mechanics. We can foster a culture of ethics and ethical leadership by holding ourselves and each other accountable. Think of it as the buddy system, but for ethics. Okay? If we can nip it in the bud right off the bat, then it permeates everywhere else. It spreads out. Just like how shady shit is contagious, so is doing the right thing. And first of all, let's promote a system of open communication. If something feels off, speak up. Sounds easy, right? But it's not just about calling out bad shit. It's also about it's all about creating a culture where it's okay for someone to say something. Because we've seen those environments where we would want to speak up, but the norm is snitches get stitches, right? We don't talk bad about our team. We don't talk bad about our organization. We don't say shit about our business, especially to other businesses, right? We know the shady shit is happening, but we can't openly talk about it because if we do, then all the repercussions fall back on us, right? And that's generally how that happens. And that's what generally buys our silence, so to speak. And there's many other places where they'll speak up, but they're on this blanket of anonymity, right? Or they take it to social media where it doesn't do much of anything. Like they do in this dark corner of Reddit where no one but them listens to it. Again, that this is fine as far as like venting your frustrations, but if it's just going to be there and not lead to anything, then what is it really doing? Right? So no one should feel pressured to compromise their values. And after all, nobody wants to be the one flying the plane with the trust me sticker on the side. Just do it, bro. Trust me. Right? Just doesn't sound right. Just saying that out loud, does it? Now, another one is let's take charge of our training, right? Ongoing education about ethic practices and the consequences of unethical behavior can empower us to make better choices, right? Now, when I say take charge of our training, this doesn't just mean like stick you in a equal opportunity class or a company ethics class and just bore you to death with PowerPoint presentations, right? We've all been there before where they just regurgitate the same old stuff over and over and over. And they don't even try to change things up. And they just give you like this company values card or some kind of pamphlet. And it's more or less just like memorize these and you're good to go. Right? But it's got to go beyond just memorizing them. We must understand the why behind it. Like knowing what the seatbelt signs means when you're about to hit turbulence, right? It's a stupid analogy, I get it, but it's like that. Like you don't just memorize like when the light goes on, okay, you gotta understand the why. And this kind of brings into the value of it. Like what's the value of you knowing these ethics besides going to jail? You know? And lastly, let's talk about setting the high standards by being the examples. Okay, being the example of integrity. As mechanics, we have the power to influence people, especially our peers, right? And if our premise is to just go by the norm, you know, that turns into the exceptions become the rules. You know what I'm saying? If we are okay with turning a blind eye to certain things, then that's going to be the precedent. Now, again, MVP and I have mentioned that in terms of certain critical conditions, there are certain things we can exempt, and that's fine. As long as the exemptions are covered under this, we can do this. In military settings, that's 100% the thing. Get this going so people don't die, right? Or in other critical places like, say, aerial firefighting. If we don't get this out the door, if this doesn't happen right here and right now, people will die. So depending on the urgency of it, like the real deal urgency, like the real time consequences, there's exceptions. And those exceptions are well documented and well understood by all the entities involved. But if you're just doing it for the sake of doing it because you feel you're smarter than the manuals, there's a lot of gray area in this that can ultimately turn around and bite you. Especially if it's coming from a boss who really kind of doesn't understand what's going on, but they tell you to do so anyway. Like, make this happen. I don't care. Or nothing's going to stop this operations. So do what you got to do. Make it work and make it happen. See, there's a little bit of ambiguity behind that. And especially when it's that type of direction where the onus is blurry and you can't really claim that, well, my supervisor told me to do it. That's not going to fly. Especially when when that decision leads to an incident. Oh, people will throw you under the bus quick. So do yourselves a favor and just make sure that if a decision is being made that sounds kind of shady, that there's some kind of backup to this, some tangible backup to aid you in that decision, or there's some kind of waiver authority that says that, hey, we're allowed to do this. I think that pretty much says the same damn thing. But really weigh in on this and have a little bit of a step back reflection. Like, is this the right thing to do or is it not? And yeah, it might benefit the company, but does this really benefit the people, myself and the people around me? Because I can fully say that when the exceptions become the rules, it only pushes the goalpost further. Like, okay, we're okay being this shady. What's to stop us from being more shady here? What's to stop us from doing this? What's to stop us from doing that? And then eventually the metric becomes, well, at least planes aren't falling out of the sky. Or even more so, well, at least only one plane fell out of the sky today, or one plane fell out of the sky this year, so on and so forth. Like, then the metric becomes exponentially worse, and we just continue to dig ourselves into that hole. So it's a rough subject, and it's something that's near and dear to all our hearts, especially with the way things are going nowadays, with a lot of these incidents and these turbulent changing of regulations and so forth. So having that little bit of ethical grounding can really help stop it from spreading. So to wrap things up, ethical leadership isn't just a buzzword. It's not just a list of overused platitudes plastered on a poster, right? It's not that like these vague words that just supposed to inspire some type of Captain America in your brain, right? These are crucial for the safety and integrity of our industry, of our organization, of our section, of our department, of our team, and of ourselves. So together we can create an environment where ethical pro-organizational behaviors can thrive, right? So it's not just doing things for the sake of the organization, but doing the right things for the sake of an organization. This ensures the safety and well-being of everybody, including the planes and the people that are flying in it. But hey, let us know what you guys think. What sort of issues that you ran into work that required you to plant your foot and exercise some ethical background? What are some tips and approaches that you have used to really reset people's minds to get back into this ethical framework? Let us know in the comments. Let us know on our social medias, our emails, through our website. The absolute best way to get a hold of us and have conversations like these is through our Discord channel via Patreon. Our patrons, we thank you so much for your tremendous support. This helps get the show to where it is today and move forward into the future with bigger, better projects. Thank you all again for tuning into this episode. A reminder that every small action counts, and we all have a role to play in shaping a better aviation community. If you found this episode valuable, please share to everyone who needs it, to subscribe, rate our show, and again, give this out to fellow mechanics and aviation enthusiasts. Until next time, hey, keep your tools ready, keep your ethics intact, because a well-maintained plane is just as important as a well-maintained moral compass. Have a good one, everybody. We'd like to take a moment to give a heartfelt shout out to our fantastic patrons. Your unwavering support is the magic behind the show, helping us produce thrilling episodes, keep our gear in top shape, and create awesome merch just for you. With special shout outs goes to SaKonna, Eric Shaw, Daniel Liang, Mike Sherwood, Caleb Stockdale, Carm M, Dan Schubert, and Ryan Freshour. Thank you all so much for your support and patronage. If you enjoy our show, why not join our Patreon family? You'll unlock a whole slew of perks, including exclusive access to our private Discord community, special discounts, early bird access to our merch, and a front row seat to sneak peeks of our comics and other exciting projects. And if you're feeling adventurous, don't forget to strut your stuff as an aviation aficionado by visiting our store at cancelformaintenance.com. For those who appreciate a touch of class or rugged charm, check out our affiliate Rockwell Time at rockwelltime.com. Use the code CX, the number 4, MX, snag a sweet 10% off your new favorite watch. It's time to elevate your game. Got a burning topic idea or want to be a guest on our show? Drop us a line on the contact us section of our website, cancelformaintenance.com. We're all ears and we're eager to bring your ideas to life. Stay connected with us on social media. Find us on Facebook at Cancel for Maintenance or follow us on Instagram and Threads at Canx, CANX, Fort Maintenance Podcast. Hey, we love hearing from you. Be sure to check out our comics. We might just be the only webcomic focused on aircraft mechanics available on the Tapas app. Like, share, subscribe, and leave us your thoughts. We want to know what you all think. Thank you all for being the incredible community that you are. Your support means the absolute world to us, and we can't wait to catch you on the next episode. Until then, keep them flying.